America's relationship with guns? Oh man, it's a wild ride, right?
It can be super confusing for a lot of folks out there. Some people think it's way over the top, while others see it as a serious danger.
So, why do Americans care so much about firearms?
The answer is kinda complicated and goes way back, like way before the U.S.N. was even a thing. Picture this. Back in the day, there wasn't a strong government or a big army. If trouble showed up at your door, you couldn't count on anyone to help you out. For those early settlers, guns weren't political statements,
They were essential tools for survival. They hunted for food, protected their families from wild animals, and defended their little communities in a huge, unpredictable land.
life was tough, lonely, and often dangerous.
Being armed just meant being ready for anything, you know. As tensions grew between the colonies and Britain, guns took on a whole new vibe. When the Revolutionary War kicked off in the 1770s, it wasn't just a professional army fighting. It was regular folks, farmers, craftsmen, everyday people bringing their own weapons to the battle. Could you imagine that?
This experience changed how Americans thought. The war wasn't just about breaking free from Britain. It was about standing up to a powerful government.
A strong belief emerged. An armed population is the best defense against tyranny. That belief made its way into the Constitution with the Second Amendment in 1791, saying people have the right to keep and bear arms. But back then, it wasn't about identity, or today's culture was.
It was about security and a fear of government overreach. For many years after, guns were just part of life, especially in rural areas. They were practical tools, not political statements.
But as the country pushed westward in the 19th century, firearms became tied to a powerful myth, the American frontier. The idea of a self-reliant person moving west, starting fresh, and defending their land became central to what it meant to be American.
Think about all those stories of pioneers and cowboys.
They filled books, newspapers, and later, our screens.
Guns became symbols of independence and strength, and that idea really took root in American culture.
By the 20th century, America had changed a lot. Cities exploded in size, technology advanced, and the physical frontier disappeared.
But the symbolism of guns stuck around.
For many, owning a gun became about heritage, a link to ancestors who fought in wars and built communities.
You can see how that connection runs deep, right? At the same time, the U.S.N.
faced waves of violence and unrest.
For some, these moments only reinforced the need for personal defense. Trust in institutions wavered, and during uncertain times, that old idea of self-reliance came back strong. It's like, when things get shaky, people want to feel secure in their own homes. Gun culture also became regional. In rural areas, guns were common and practical, often used for hunting or just protecting livestock. But in cities, experiences with guns were often tied to crime and violence. This growing divide shaped how people viewed guns in completely different ways. What used to be a shared tradition turned into a national debate, and that's where things got really heated. Over time, guns became intensely political.
Arguments over rights, safety, and regulation got louder and more divided.
You've got one side saying it's all about the Second Amendment and personal freedom, while the other side is shouting about the need for gun control to keep communities safe.
It's like a never-ending tug of war, and honestly, it can feel pretty exhausting. Yet for many today, their connection to firearms isn't about anger.
It's about history and the stories passed down through families. It's about lessons on responsibility and independence, and the belief that freedom needs to be actively protected by individuals.
You hear stories of grandfathers teaching their grandkids how to shoot safely, or families bonding over hunting trips. Those moments create a sense of community and shared values, even if the larger conversation is fraught with tension. Take, for example, the annual family hunting trip that many families cherish. It's not just about the hunt.
It's about bonding, sharing stories, and passing down traditions.
It's a rite of passage for many young people, learning to respect the power of firearms while also understanding their responsibility.
These experiences create lasting memories and a sense of belonging, even if the broader gun debate feels like it's tearing us apart.
Understanding America's unique relationship with guns doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but you got to know where it all started.
In the U.S.N.,
guns aren't just objects.
They're powerful symbols shaped by centuries of survival,
revolution, and identity.
And that complex history is still very much alive today.
So, whether you're pro-gun or in favor of stricter regulations, it's essential to recognize that this isn't just a modern debate.
It's deeply rooted in the fabric of American life, and it reflects a lot about who we are as a nation. The way guns are perceived can vary so widely depending on where you are in the country, and that's something worth considering.
For some, owning a gun is a way to honor their family's legacy, while for others, it's a source of fear and concern.
It's a topic that can spark passionate conversations, and it's crucial to approach it with an open mind. The stories behind why people feel the way they do about guns are just as important as the statistics and facts we often hear. Thanks for tuning in.
If you found this deep dive into America's gun culture interesting, consider subscribing for more explorations into the stories that shape our world.
Catch you in the next one.